I was saying to the last guy, I was like, because I was having the same EV issue. So I said, I'm wearing too much glitter to be this stressed, or I'm too stressed to be wearing glitter. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, you get that.
It's okay. It makes everything sparkly.
We're good. Okay, start.
Okay. Hey, Double Teamed fam. How are we doing today? What was I going to say after that? I forgot. Anyways, hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming. Today, we have a new guest. We welcome comedian and host of the Man Horror podcast, Billy. And I don't know how to say your last name.
Procida.
I was saying it wrong the whole time.
What'd
Okay,
you
perfect.
get? What'd you
I thought
think?
it was Procida.
That's very it's like the most popular wrong answer.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
that's
better than
nice.
college graduation. They announced me as I walk across the stage to get that incredibly expensive piece of paper, and they said, "Hey, just write it phonetically." I wrote pro, I wrote C, and duh, and he just looked at it and was like, "Billy Prada." I'm not an heiress, you know.
Prada.
I
love
would have
that.
claimed it.
Wait, before we get started, I want to ask, your shirt says this is what a sex worker looks like.
Oh yeah.
Do you do sex work?
I have done various forms of sex work over the time. I currently still have an OnlyFans, and I've done webcamming. I've been a sugar baby. I've done some like kind of fin dom here and there.
Were you the submissive or the dominant?
I'm not. I can't afford. I'm a professional comedian. I can't afford to be a fin sub. Like that's an expensive fetish.
I had a fin sub. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. If I just tweet something with the hashtag Cashmaster, like somebody will throw me $20 or $50 or $100. I'm like, great.
Really?
And then a couple times like some client-based work, like in-person stuff.
Interesting.
Nice.
So it's not like I'm not like a full-time sex worker, but like I've dabbled with stuff from time to time when I need some cash. Yeah.
It's okay.
Wait, and
I like
you're poly, right? Or you're non-monogamous?
Yeah. I go with non-monogamous because polyamorous, right, is like it implies the multiple relationships. And I haven't had one woman stick around for 2 years. I feel like I should focus on like having one girlfriend before I try to have 5, right?
That's fair.
So, I'm always non-monogamous when I'm doing it. Yeah.
Interesting. How's that like in New York?
I mean, there's a lot of fun people in New York, and the bar for dudes is so low. It's I trip over it every day. It's not hard, guys. Just be bare minimum nice. It's like be half decent, and people are like throwing it at you because that's just how bad the climate is. You know, meanwhile, like I don't know, it's just great. There's someone I'm sleeping with right now who like. I can tell she's been in a lot of like just really bad. She's just been treated really poorly by a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's very sad. And so I do like something so minimal, like, I don't know, ask like, hey, do you need anything? When she's over, you want like tea or something? She's like, oh my God, that's so amazing, like, nice. And she's like, I'm so fond of you. And I'm just like, I think this is just more has to do with all the people you dated before me, not me. I don't think I'm that great. I think everyone else was that shit.
Wow.
That's terrible.
So that's New York dating then.
I mean, it's what I'm hearing about dudes nationwide. Dare
I
I
was
say
gonna
global
I was gonna
endemic?
say, I don't. Since when are dudes in LA like so great that we're all just like raising the bar on a daily basis?
That's true.
But I live in Brooklyn, Bushwick, where like everyone's
Brooklyn.
like poly and queer
Yeah.
or something, right? And so I don't know what's like non-monogamy dating like out here in LA.
Well, I think New York's
just
pretty
hotter?
kinky, and then and I do think New York's very like open-minded. But here in LA, there's definitely a big community of non-monogamous swingers. A lot of swingers. A lot of swingers. At least from what we've seen.
What's wrong with swingers?
I don't know. There are good swingers. I don't like swinging culture.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, tell us a little bit more about that. Why is that?
I don't know. I feel like generally speaking, as a community, don't at me if this doesn't apply to you, because I'm just saying like you might be great, but your culture is like this, where there's a lot of the like the woman is the bartering chip at a party, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that. There's also like boys can't play with each other. Apparently, that's like a no at swinger events. I went to a swinger resort. I also like a lot of Republican swingers.
Yeah,
like-
you'd be surprised.
Right?
Yeah.
For as much as they want to, like, I don't think they think Lawrence v. Texas applies to them. It does. You should care about this. It's like they'll come after your sodomy too.
Yeah.
So it's like I went to Desire Resorts down in Cancun.
Okay.
And I went my date also like super progressive. This is like 5 years ago or something, and she said, Billy, this one weekend we are not going to care about someone's politics. Just this one, because otherwise it would nix nix too many people. We end up in bed with this couple from South Carolina, and the whole time, like, South Carolina, it's okay. Don't ask. It's fine. We all finished like our first kind of round. The four of us are in the bed, and I had the audacity to ask, like, so what do y'all do for work?
Oh no.
Oh God.
He says what he says, but then she's like, well, I just finished
Campaigning.
Campaigning, canvassing or whatever, helping out, volunteering for like to help flip a district. I was like, dare I ask, flip from what to what? And she said, well, to the party that like has empathy for minorities. I was like, oh my God, thank God. Oh, we found liberals from South Carolina. I didn't just like fuck a racist. Okay, that's good. Thank God. Okay.
So that did go well. I was waiting for like a disaster fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
As really was I in that bed naked. I was like, this could be bad.
Wait, I'm curious. Have you ever walked out of a hookup because of their political affiliation? If you found out, maybe like in the mist somehow.
Well, I don't think I've ever been inside someone and been like, yeah. So like, how do you feel about Black Lives Matter? You know, I don't think. I'm sorry. You okay? Don't die. I would say I was really funny. If someone died from something funny I said, that may be good press. No, I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you. No, I've been sick for like a month, so
it's just a congestion left over.
She's like, don't worry, you were not funny. I'm just sick. No, I don't think it's ever happened in the middle, but I've definitely like not pursued something with someone because
of their political beliefs.
So not political beliefs. We can have
values.
Like morality.
Yeah.
We can have different stances on like tax code or like what gun control regulations should be or like how we do healthcare. We can differ on stuff like that, but like we shouldn't be differing on like queer people deserve rights, black folks should be able to vote kind of easily, and y'all should get to control your uteruses. Yeah. I don't know. Like I just think that's not politics. That's morality. And so I agree. You know, like I remember I was hosting a speed dating event once because I used to have a gig hosting speed dating events.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. And at the end, the theme was like I think like 40 up or 45 and up, something like that. So this woman in like probably her early 50s or so, she's hanging around after the event, she's complaining to me. She's like, maybe you can help me, you know, figure out this stuff. Cause like, I just want to find like a good conservative guy who, you know, doesn't want, and I was like, whoa, what does that mean to you? She's like, well, I don't want to like go see these like trans whatevers in the bathroom with me. And I'm like, lady, you are in the wrong fucking city. Like, yeah, your dating isn't the problem. It's like you need to move.
Your values.
Your values. But if you're gonna have those shit values, you gotta go to a more shit place.
Like Arkansas.
Yeah, go to Arkansas. You'll find plenty of dudes like that. Find the richest guy in Arkansas. You'll nail it.
I take that back. I've heard parts of Arkansas have become incredibly progressive. Let's go with Mississippi.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's a major city in Mississippi?
Jackson's the capital?
No idea. Anyway.
I don't know. Wherever Mississippi Burning was. I don't know. Maybe that's gotten bigger.
I will say I too am someone that like, if I know, if at minimum, you know, they don't like side with pro-choice, that's a no for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very fair. What about you? I don't want to assume that the twins have the same exact
thank you for that assumption.
I really appreciate that.
Actually, yeah, I really do appreciate that
because she's like, I only fuck pro-life guys.
No, absolutely not. No, I think, I mean, when it comes to the pro-choice, I stand my ground on that. I understand some people are like, but the gray area, and I'm like, yeah, but the choice. So I stand with that. But I mean, usually like, when it comes to party affiliation, all of that, yeah, just as long as the morals are there, I don't care what the how is or how it's done.
I'm a registered independent. It's like I can date someone if I'm dating someone seriously. I would like us to be a little more politically aligned.
Yeah,
but you know, again, it's like if we're just gonna hook up or if we're gonna have a casual thing, I just need to know you're like a half decent human being. I think just the bar for humans is on the floor these days.
Yeah,
so I'm just like, yeah.
Wait, so I have a question. So you're single right now?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, okay, but like, how is it being? Because we really haven't had this perspective before. How is it being non-monogamous and single and a man?
Yeah,
again,
What is it like when you like tell women like, hey, I'm non-monogamous, if we're going to date or we're going to hook up, just letting you know this is how I identify.
I mean, I just think because of my public persona and my dating app bios, I just don't think anyone who's either on a date with me or in bed with me doesn't know, right?
What does your dating profile say?
Gosh, I used to say mostly looking to go down on pretty people and eat pizza. I think that like used to be my standard.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think I lay out this, non-monogamous. I talk about sex for a living. I'm a comedian. I'm from New Jersey. Just like all the red flags. Let's get them out right away.
Non-monogamy is not a red flag.
For some though, but just the idea,
You're
it
right.
lets them self-select.
You're
Like if
right.
you don't like that, like I get instant unmatched a lot because I think they swiped right and then they finally read and they were like, ooh, no,
Yeah.
right? And that's
And then,
fine.
yeah,
Like
I get
now
that.
I'm not wasting my time.
I've had that before too. It happened a lot on Hinge. People on Hinge really aren't non-monogamous. So
Yeah, and I'm mostly like on Field and Tinder and like
I like
flirt
Field
with
and
Bumble.
Tinder. Yeah, I like Bumble. Actually, I found a lot of great dudes on Bumble. But
Bumble's okay.
yeah. Wait, I'm curious because I don't know anything about your sexuality. Bisexual, straight.
I
hetero?
identify as straight, whatever that means anymore. I
Okay.
don't, it's like I don't get it either. So I lean into that.
But I like that you're like willing to wear glitter. Not that that's like
Yeah, right, exactly.
not that that's like a gay thing to do at all. But like I love that you identify as straight, but here you are, you don't care about glitter or
Wearing
whatever.
glitter. It actually
Yeah.
looks really good.
It does.
Thank you.
It really
Thank
makes
you.
her eyes pop.
It really brings out the blue.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It makes women a little less scared of me on the subway. I kind of like that. This is partly just to like almost
I didn't
deflect.
I wasn't trying to assume that because you're wearing glitter, you're bisexual or
You're
whatever.
fine.
I was just curious.
Part of this is like to disarm. Part of it is because it just makes me feel comfortable if I do not appear as maybe as much of a threat as a man-looking person like this. Like I look like the guy who did that thing to you in college. Like I know what I look like, right? And so I'm like, if I can do anything that says, you don't have to be as scared of me. We're just on the train. Like you like. Because it used to be like I'm on the train, and like I make eye contact, and it's like, and now it's like eye contact, smiles. I like your glitter. I say, I like your bag. Okay, you have a good day. I'm getting off at Times Square.
I don't know why that reminds me of when Kimmy and I went to New York not long ago. We went to House of Yes in Brooklyn. Love House of Yes. And it was like literally 3 a.m. And I was like, at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about riding the subway at 3 a.m. But there we were, and everyone in there is in like, because it was actually glitterati night. So it was like head to toe glitter or like sequins, whatever. And I'm like, I feel safe.
And it's the L train. That's a hipster train.
Yes, it is.
Like
Oh my God.
It
worst
really
that
is.
someone's gonna do is try to like mansplain infinite jest to you. Like that's the worst on the L.
We got into a conversation with what was he, a doctor?
Oh,
you
yeah, he
remember
was
the
a doctor.
doctor?
Yeah.
So before we got on the train, and actually you're right, I think it is the L train.
Yeah, it's hell train.
It was so funny because was that the night that the girl was throwing up?
Yeah.
That's every night.
Well, this one girl was throwing up, and her friends took her to the side of the subway, and we're like, what the fuck? And she's like throwing up, and they're holding her hair, and then there's this gay guy sitting down. He's like, guys, I think there's a much safer area over there by the trash can where you can throw up.
So then her friends shovel her over to the
just
trash
shuffle
can, and then
over to
she
the
is like
trash can.
hugging it, puking into it, and I was like, "This is just bad."
Yep. And there's this like young doctor next to us, and Nicole and I are just like, I can't listen to this, and he's like, "Yep, same." And then we just like get in a conversation. It was really funny.
Yeah, I like.
So like being a single dude in New York, being non-monogamous, I feel like I'm fitting in a little bit with the non-monogamy, especially in Bushwick, especially at my income level, right? I feel like there's just a lot of that going on.
Yeah, you need multiple people to pay rent.
Yeah. And I do think there's something to be said about like the fact that I am just so open about that.
Yeah.
Both like if someone doesn't find me through my public channels, but just, whether it's an app or I meet someone at a bar, I'm just like really nonchalant. It's not a big deal to me because I've kind of always been this way. And so if I act like it's normal, they kind of act like it's normal. If I come to them about like, disclosing non-monogamy like it's cancer, then they're going to treat it like it's cancer.
Oh, I like that perspective.
And then the other side of it is that just like, if you Google me, I mean, like whore is attached to my name on Google and my dad's name for the rest of my life. So it's like, you look me up, you're going to find that. You know what you're kind of getting. A lover of mine recently said something along the lines of, I know who I'm dating.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know.
Interesting.
Well, I love that. No, I really like that perspective of like treating it as like your normal rather than like, I know this is a lot for you to handle, you know, or like, I know this is like a really, you know, heavy thing to bring to the table because, you know, I think sometimes I've been guilty of that and I didn't really think about that until you said that where
Like, fuck them, make them disclose that they're monogamous. Right?
Yeah.
Make them feel, yeah.
No, but it's true. Like I tell people that I'm non-monogamous, and I will say this, like over the years, I've definitely become a lot more open about it, or like a lot less shameful about it, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm describing it correctly, but you know, I make it seem like less of a burden, but I definitely reflect back to like the beginning of my journey, and sometimes I did treat it like a burden that I was bringing like to the table of dating someone. When it's like, no, that's just like my life. That's how I choose to live it. And then you can choose whether or not, you know, you want to be in it or not. So, and then I will say this. I get all of the time guys are like, I don't want to come in and change anything. But then they're like, they don't mesh with like the non-monogamy, or they're like, well, you know, I think they seem to like think that in some ways, like if I like them enough, I'll turn monogamous. And
I mean,
I'm like,
just like if they're like, oh, if you're bi, if I date you, maybe you'll drop that. There's the audacity of people to think like, oh, I am the one.
Yeah.
You know, like if you, I don't know if y'all come from oral or not, but it's like you hear, I don't know if you have friends who say like, well, I don't really come from oral, and some of it's because they just haven't like had anyone proficient, and then some of them just like, that's not pleasurable for me, right? And but then you hear, I don't know if your friends are like mine, who they'll complain about the dude who says, no. I will be the prince in shining armor who will lick your twat till you come. And it's like, no, bro. Like, you're not the answer.
no,
Yeah.
still not you. Yeah. No, I get that.
Isn't that weird? That's like I feel like that's the new like prince in shining armor thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, no, I'm the one who will make you orgasm.
Yeah.
No, or the
Because I watched a lot of porn.
squirting. They're like, oh, you've never squirted.
I'll make you
make you
squirt.
squirt.
I
Yeah.
paid $9.99 to learn in a video once.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is squirting,
how
yeah.
it goes.
Squirting
I'm like,
and coming
but
from
why
oral,
does it
yeah.
matter? Then I tell them like, I don't want to squirt.
Right.
Yeah. Not
I
everyone
just-
finds that
For
appealing.
me personally, that's not like I'm not like sitting here like, God damn, I wish I was squirting.
Wait, I'm curious. Have you
okay.
ever had it to where like maybe you started dating someone and then, or seeing them casually, whatever, and then, you know, they were like cool with the non-monogamy in the beginning, but then at some point they hit a point where they're like, can't do it anymore. Have you hit that?
I mean,
I've faced that a
was
lot.
my last big relationship that I'm like
really?
only recently feeling freed from.
Wow.
Yeah, we cry less often about it now. It's
good.
it's only when a couple songs play, which
Celine
Spotify
Dion?
Unwrapped has been. You know.
Humbling to say the least.
Thank God when I drive alone, I play enough Eminem to like outdo the sad songs from my ex that I listened to on the train.
Yeah.
Because I was so nervous opening up. It's like, this might just be every song she's ever sent me. And it wasn't, but like, yeah, you know, it's like, so she, I met her and she had just gotten out of a 12-year monogamous relationship.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and marriage.
Marriage?
She was
Okay.
getting out of the marriage. And I met her a week after she left her husband.
Oh.
Right. And it was just the right person at the wrong time. And she gave it a try. And it just combination of like, she wasn't ready for that. She probably wasn't ready to
For a
date
relationship,
at
yeah.
all. But it just, the chemistry was so fucking intense and undeniable. It was like type of thing where like, after our, the first day we get coffee, I told her like, I'd really like to kiss you. She's like, yeah. And I kiss her on the corner. And I send her off back to her place, and I go my way. And I walked away being like, I'm in trouble. Because I never go out with not people who don't already have experience with non-monogamy or are like single and just understand like, oh, maybe we're just hooking up. And I just against all my better judgments, I was like, there's something here intangible that like I have to follow. Like I can't leave that alone. Like I still feel that way, and she's on her journey or whatever. But yes, I mean, I think the poly was part of the reason that did not work out, or the non-monogamy, and figuring that out. And I also probably wasn't the best boyfriend. I don't want to be your first non-monogamous boyfriend. Does that mean? Because like
I get that.
I don't think I'm good. I don't think I'm going to be prepared for it. I don't think I'm going to be able to dual empathize and advocate for. I don't think I can do that. So I was like, But just this one person was like, I had to go for it.
I mean, I think it's great that you can identify that for yourself, because I always take on the burden of being someone's first non-monogamous partner. Done that a lot. And it tends to end the same every time. It really does. Yeah.
So what's y'all two situation right now?
I have 2 partners. One is very, very casual, like friends with benefits.
Okay.
And then the other one is more so, but no label, still fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a friend, her and I are like best friends with benefits, but that's very sporadic.
Just like for a good night at the nightclub, it's like,
yeah, or we just like to tag team dudes together. So it's that we have a lot of fun doing that.
God bless you.
But I actually just got out of a relation. Well, I'm still in the midst of my divorce, which was non-monogamous we were together 9 years, 4 of them non-monogamous.
Okay.
And then, but he wanted kids. I didn't. That's why it ended.
Okay.
That's kind of why it ended. But then I recently got out of a relationship where it was a guy. He's never been with someone non-monogamous before. And it was also more casual, like just friends with benefits, but it was still like, it's very deep. We had a lot of great times together. I was telling our listeners last week that, the entirety of our relationship was like watching Disney movies and having sex, which was like everything that I needed after our divorce. But we were very close, but we finally hit a point where he was like, I can't do non-monogamy long-term.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do monogamy. And then we were like, okay, well, let's just continue being friends with benefits. But like, at least we know like that's the extent of this relationship. Like it will not go further. I think it definitely could have gone further if we were like both on the same page about that thing. Mm-hmm. But obviously we couldn't. And then finally we hit a point where we were just like, it needs to end. And so it did. And so like, it's tough because, like I said, he never been with someone that's non-monogamous before. And like, it was hard sometimes to like take on like the burden of like you said, yeah, teaching, empathy, like all of those things and, all the communication involved and everything. So it was just a lot. So I miss him, but it's for the better.
I have like such a together question, but first I also want to get like, what's your current sitch?
I was engaged in 2020, early 2021.
Monogamously.
We ended things. We were monogamous. Yes. That's really all I've known.
Okay.
And
monogamy is all you've known.
Mm-hmm.
That makes my next question. So, okay, keep going.
So after he and I broke up, then I went on like a little hoe phase for a little bit. I had fun. Yeah, it was a nice time. And then I have like anxious attachment style, unfortunately.
Me too.
And yeah.
Tough one.
So I'm like, it is,
I've avoided.
Yeah. So I'm, it's true though. So I was seeing this one guy and like I started falling for him and then we were like trying to make it work and he and I were dom sub for a little bit and then we weren't and then we were all over the place. Fast forward to now I don't know what I am. I'm like single-ish, mostly single. Yeah, I'm single.
There's someone you're banging maybe more often than others.
Yeah, but I don't really know I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just single and seeing what comes.
Yeah.
When did your breakup happen with the engagement?
2020.
That happened 2020. Okay.
Yeah, it happened. My engagement ended January, like the first day of January 2021.
Okay. Because what I was going to ask is how do y'all become non-monogamous twins? But then I feel like I more want to adjust it with when you decided you were going to try to pursue something a little different, I mean, is she a big resource for what do I do? How do I do? How can I tell the shitty poly guy from the half decent guy from how do I know which are the bad doms out there? What do I
don't know. I think we're both, well,
I mean, you dated non-monogamous men.
Sorry.
See, that's how I know you are sick. I said nothing funny there.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean, yeah, I've had like hookups with non-monogamous men, but only because like they're in like we're a part of a swinger community.
Of a what?
Swinger community. Sorry.
Okay.
My tongue got tied.
They're
right
all
there.
liberal as far as I know.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. There are a couple conservatives, but majority of them are liberal.
But anyway, yeah, so we are part of a little swingers community and sometimes like, we'll have fun with those guys.
We go to sex parties together a lot.
Yeah. But it's not
Okay.
it's not like it's not like never something that progresses super like outside of just like going to a sex party with them.
Would
So
you date a non-monogamous man seriously?
I think I would. I want to like explore non-monogamy. It's just like, a matter of finding that. But like, then again, like I'm new to it. So then like, then I have a whole podcast about it. And then I'm like trying to explain it to people. And it's like, well, I've actually never done it, but I talk about it. She knows what she's doing. Like, so it's like a whole mess.
But do you look to her for the advice on like how to pursue that?
Sometimes, yeah.
But I think you gotta give yourself some credit that like you've been around non-monogamy for years because of me. So it's like you're not, entering.
And I do read reverse harem fiction.
Yeah.
If you're going to sex parties with your sister, I just feel like that I think you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're not like brand new to non-monogamy to the point where you don't know anything about it.
We've been going to, and I don't mind being a little unicorn every now and then. Put my horn on and go. But I
haven't unicorned in a while. I kind of miss it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun to join a couple because like you're just like the commitment is like the commitment's between them.
Yeah.
And my commitment here is temporary, and it's literally just about having fun. I am here to make your bed more fun for whatever time we're doing that, and then I get to go.
Have you been what's the male equivalent
It's
of
like
unicorn?
babysitting children.
I'm not against being called a unicorn. I think more dudes. I mean, also I'm wearing glitter, so of course I'm comfortable being called that. I think we should call all the unibrow. I think I've heard people say,
or
unibrow,
like a bull. Or
well,
I guess that's bull.
That's
different.
That's
yeah.
for cuckolding.
That's for cucking. Yeah. Oh, dragon. That's what it is. Dragon.
I do not feel like a dragon. I do not think I give off that energy. That sounds like a much more mask thing to do. I've frequently been told dating me is like dating a lesbian. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Lesbians are phenomenal. I love lesbians.
Me too.
I think they make great partners. They're very committed.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like I give off more of a more feminine unicorn vibe at times, but yeah. Yes, I've played with couples plenty of times. All the way back to college when we had a really healthy Craigslist going on in New York.
Wow. Okay, I keep hearing Craigslist was like the OG.
R.I.P. to the casual encounters on Craigslist. Reddit, to its credit, is like filling a good chunk of that void in, but Craigslist was chef's fucking kiss of sluttiness. It was, you found anything and everything there. And so I went to NYU, right? So I was in the city. And I think I was in a monogamous relationship freshman year. But starting sophomore year, I realized, if I can be comfortable with at least one other dick in my proximity, I can answer more ads and therefore increase the chances of getting my dick sucked. Oh. I can answer the MW for M, the MW for MM, the W for MM, and the very, very rare and usually fake WW for M. So I could answer these ads. Well, that one, there's not another one, but it's the same point.
Okay.
Just the idea of like, I could answer more types of ads than just like W for M, and so many, especially in major cities, so many of those are like bots, cam girls, escorts, or just like flaky people. But I feel like when like someone goes on and like we're putting together a gangbang, she wants a bukkake, we want a third. Like I want to go out with two guys the same, whatever it is. That's pretty like that's intentional. That's always felt like more real. Like they're gonna do that. They're not gonna flake on it as easily. I feel like. So I played with couples. I've watched couples.
Have you been a bull?
I don't think in like a cuckoldy sense, no.
Okay.
Because a bull, is more for like cucking.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've like technically been that. If I have, I didn't know, right? Because they didn't tell me to humiliate the guy or anything.
That's fair.
But I've definitely like fucked people's wives and girlfriends in front of them.
Nice.
So yeah, I've done that. And sometimes it's just, hey, you want to come over and watch us bang? I did that a lot in college. That was cool.
Just watch people bang?
In college?
I think the first time with a couple for me was, I wasn't involved. It was me coming over and watching them fuck and jerking off. He was just really fucking weird. He was like much older. I'm 20.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, he tells me like me in my corner and it's like, that's fine. I go, he brings me up and they finish before I could come. And then they seemed like they wanted me to get dressed and go. I was like, can I? No. Yeah. I don't remember if I just like quickly just got one out real quick or if I just been like, I guess I'm not coming right now. But he then brought me downstairs and he insisted on walking me to the subway.
That's nice, I guess.
I didn't need it.
Gentleman.
Right? It's like you think it's nice, but it's a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's because there's a man in his 50s taking a 20-year-old to the subway that he's very capable at midnight of walking himself to. It's not a scary city. Don't believe what the fucking news says. New York's fine. And so like,
yeah, Cammy and I
I
have been
think
out.
New York's fine.
Yeah, we've been out plenty of times past midnight.
but like he wouldn't like let me go straight to. Once we're in Penn Station or wherever it was like he didn't like let me go right away. He's like insistent on like talking to me. He's like being an older dude. He's like, I'm gonna teach you. Let me tell you what's going on. And I'm like, bro, I want you like kind of lamely fuck your wife, and I would like to go home and beat off to something sexier. So let me go, dude. But yeah, other times it was fun.
I like it.
Watching's fun. Recently, like before I got into that relationship, I was thinking about like auditing my thrust game. I was starting to feel like all of a sudden, I don't know why. I was just feeling like maybe like I was not fucking as well anymore, or something had changed. I was like, let's just do like a healthy. I was going to, until I met this woman. I was gonna just start seeking out couples that I could watch and like just be like, how's he fucking? How's he thrusting? What's going on? What are the kids doing something new I should know about?
Yeah, gathering data.
What do they call it when you like go to I think it's called auditing a class in college, or what do they say when you're not in the class but you go to like watch the lecture?
That's right.
Yeah.
I think it's auditing.
Yeah. It's like, can I audit your class? Can I audit your fuck sesh?
I like it.
I've never thought to do that.
Always strive to be better. You know?
Well, and sometimes I wonder because I had it one time a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was like 2 months ago. I was like, I wonder how I am in bed.
I feel like lately I've been super boring, but that's just because I've been tired.
I was like, am I boring or am I fun? So I was like, I should do a little experiment. But then I went to a sex party and I was like, I think I look like I'm fun. And they seem to be enjoying it.
Does she look like she's having fun? Does she like? I mean, do y'all put blinders on when you're at a party together?
It's like yeah.
So like if I like last time, for example, I walked into a room, immediately noticed Cammy was having her fun, and I was like, I'm just gonna turn right back around. And we don't watch each other, but like,
well, not like watch like to watch, but just like more like, oh, that's Cammy. She's having, you know, like have y'all? I didn't know if y'all have ever been like in the same big space and like you see her like 5 mattresses away and
no, usually like if one of us
one time I heard Niki.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyways.
And what was that like?
Uncomfortable. I was like, oh, I didn't want to hear that. Like
the boundary is so funny because you're like, I'll go to the fuck party with you, but like, I don't want to hear you.
Yeah, we don't want to hear. See, and I mean, but all the places we go to, there's plenty of room where like we don't have. There's no overlap or there's no like playing in the same spaces.
Yeah. No, that was that one house where there was like that balcony outdoor area.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask, when did you kind of like? Because this sounds like you started pretty early, you know, college days. When did you kind of decide for yourself that you were perhaps more non-monogamous than monogamous?
I did start early, you know, especially with the sexual experimentation, because after that freshman year relationship, I thought, well, I am in New York City. I had seen what Craigslist had to offer. I was getting interest from women both on campus and like at bars, because in New York City we don't have a campus, right? You just go to a bar. So you know, I'm not going to a bar with college kids. I'm meeting grown ass women in college, and which thank God, because I feel like I learned so much from them. It was a 46-year-old woman is the one who taught me which size condom to use. You know what I mean? I was like, I would have never figured that out. So
I love that.
So there was a lot of like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out what I like by just trying a lot of stuff. That was my philosophy in college. Like, I'm just going to try things and figure it out that way. And I think that's still like what I do to figure out my sexuality and what I enjoy and what gets me off. But then in terms of poly, like, so freshman year, that was, you know, it was like not official, right? And I was just talking about this like a few hours ago. It was like, it wasn't official, but we had loved it. We said, I love you to each other. I was her first sexual partner. She was my second. I'm coming inside of her. Oh, wow. She is the person, right? For all intents and purposes, she's a girlfriend. But she was going to Tufts and I was going to NYU. So it was like, okay, maybe let's not be official and we won't fuck other people, but that way we can still hook up with other people, because you know we're both new, fresh 18-year-old sexual beings.
Okay,
but
so
like,
no sex, but like anything else is fine.
Yeah, those were the rules we had. But then also we decided we weren't official. She's not my girlfriend.
Okay,
but it's only because we're still doing things with other people, which is so silly and dumb. Why is the sexual fidelity is what makes it serious? How about my feelings are serious? Some of the sexual health bonding is serious. So why is this thing over here? That's the marker. And then by like November freshman year, we like became monogamous, and now she's my girlfriend. Now I'm her boyfriend. Okay. And I remember reading the New York Post one day, and in the back of the paper, there was a small box. It's probably like 150 words, maybe. And it had some, I don't even remember what it was about, but it had this word, it was about this word polyamory. Maybe it was a book out or a study, I don't know. But I got introduced to this word polyamory, and it was like in bold font. It said what it was. I was like, that feels like it makes sense. If you can love more than one person over the course of your life, then like, isn't it possible those times could overlap? So I just was like, and it sat in the back of my head. I'm in a monogamous relationship, whatever. I went up to visit her once and we saw the movie Definitely Maybe. Ryan Reynolds, Derek Luke.
Yes, like
Yeah,
that, right,
okay,
right.
yeah.
Isla Fisher. Okay, great flick, love it. And in that movie, right, there's three main character women who come in and out and back in of his life.
Yeah.
And the time that he's in love with these people, if not always constant, do overlap.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving the theater just being like, wow. Because I remember that thing's in the back of my head. And I bring up in the cab, I say, hey, I thought this was interesting. What do you think about just this concept? And she she freaked out.
Oh.
She thought I was asking to open up the relationship, which she didn't want. I wasn't doing that. I was just like saying, this is interesting to me. I thought we were going to break up in that cab. But I knew, I was like, there's something there. And then when we broke up, nothing happens for college. I read Ethical Slut after I graduated.
Oh, nice.
And it gave me that language.
Yeah.
It was a thing I knew was there. Like, I remember senior year, I met a 40-something-year-old, like a 38-year-old woman who like used to swing with her husband at a bar. And I was like, you're the first person I've met in real life who seems normal and natural and like also has been non-monogamous.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this is a valid lifestyle. And it validated me just by meeting her. Right. And then I read Ethical Slut and I've got language for it. And so like really by then I felt comfortable just saying non-monogamous. Before that, I was just like hoping to find someone who wants to love me back. I mean, the theme of my show is like I talk to exes about why we didn't work out because for like up until I was 25 or 26, until I was 26, nobody wanted to be my girlfriend. And I was like, I want cuddles and I want love and fun sex and like I want, but women always wanted to stay casual with me. So I kind of ended up.
So cute.
Thank you. I like had to be slutty kind of almost by default because like, well, if no one's gonna lock it down, I'm gonna keep having fun.
Yeah.
And then eventually I realized, I can keep having fun and lock it down, so to speak. So I mean, that's kind of my poly origin story.
I like it. Everyone's is different, you know?
Yeah. What was yours?
I started reading reverse harem fiction.
Yeah, and I was reading reverse harem too because we always read the same books, and so like it kind of just like planted the idea in my head. And then my ex-husband and I, we were both pilots, so we traveled a lot for work. And
Pilots?
Pilots. Mm-hmm.
You fly plane.
I do fly airplanes. Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Thanks.
Do you still fly planes?
I haven't since I sold my airplane about a year ago, but I take that back. I went flying once just to make sure I could still land an airplane, which I did.
Like for an emergency situation. Can anyone? And you're just like, I can. I got it.
But
do you just like hate Andrew Tate?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I do, but like I do too, but I feel like it's more personal for you because remember he said like women shouldn't fly airplanes. I was like, that's a weird take, man.
It's
Our
okay.
mother said the
my
same thing.
my mother said the same thing, and I love my mother, but she's like, "Mommy, that women really shouldn't be flying airplanes," and I'm like, "Well, I do, Mom." So
That's fucking killer.
anyways, but yeah, I mean, obviously, I still have all my licenses. I just need to go get current, and I'm gonna own an airplane again someday, just not right now while I continue transitioning from my divorce. But we were traveling a lot for work. We were young. I was like 22. He was 26, whatever. He was about 5 years older than me. Anyways, and then one day we just kind of had this discussion. He brought it up and he was just like, I love you, but we're gone all the time and I still want to have sex. And I'm like, me too. And then it kind of spurred from there. And we didn't know what we were doing in the beginning. But it was basically just like whenever we were apart from work, we would go have our fun. And then it kind of progressed from there. And we did dabble into polyamory. He had a girlfriend at one point and me. And then I had just a variety of casual partners. But yeah, we learned a lot. It was definitely what solidified for me that like I just cannot be monogamous.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Do people assume that your marriage fell apart because of the non-monogamy when really it's about the the child planning?
Yeah, I think people, or at least they think that it like began or aided it. And maybe it kind of, I think maybe him being with his girlfriend because she had a kid and she also wanted another baby and all of that. I think that opened his eyes more to wanting children because I didn't give him that experience. Yeah. So I think that's fair to say, but I wouldn't say that it was like the direct cause. Right. I think we would have hit that roadblock whether we were monogamous or not.
Yeah. Well, I bring that up to say because so many people, I think when a poly or non-monogamous relationship breaks up, they assume that's why. But when a monogamous relationship breaks up, they don't blame that.
I know.
Right?
I know. I hate it. I mean, don't get me wrong. If people choose monogamy, that's fine. And
everyone's allowed to be boring. That is totally. You're allowed to be lamer than me.
Absolutely, absolutely. However, I hate that it's always just like this constant narrative that we're battling, where we have to prove to people that our relationships are still just as happy, committed, but still face the normal roadblocks that relationships face, even when they are, monogamous.
You should see some of the comment sections in our posts.
Oh. I know. People all the time, they're like, my favorite, all the time, they're like, it's never going to work. Yeah, we get that. Or we hear that a lot. Or like, your father must be so proud. He's not. Like, I just, I don't know.
My father's not proud of me either. No one ever throws that shit at me because I'm a guy, right? They go like,
ooh, what do they go for your jugular?
Yeah, what do they go for?
What's your jugular?
For us, it's always your father must be so proud. So what do men face with?
Oh, I don't know what men face with. They don't talk to me very often. All my friends are like chicks and queer folks. But when people want to shit on me, it's usually like, you're funny, you're not funny, you're ugly, or something like that. In terms of the poly stuff, they'll just be like, oh, fuck, right on. It's like, that's cool. Oh, you're getting laid. Hey, I get comics who'll come up to me and like, tell me about the fuck parties, right? It's like, they think it's cool. It's kind of like if like being a male escort for women, right? It's like if I feel like, okay, so if you're a woman escort, you're getting all the slut shaming and all the anti-sex work sentiment. But if you're a guy and you're doing that, someone's kind of like, hey, if you can make it work, good for you, right? They're like, hey, you shouldn't be able to do this. So if you can, mazel.
Wait, now I want to know. Because you go to all the New York parties.
I go to one New York party because it's like the best party.
Which
what
one?
Is it?
Hacienda.
How do you spell that?
H-A-S or H-A-C-I-E-N. Hacienda.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
We gotta go. Next time we go, let's go.
Absolutely.
I'll
throw you an invite.
We're trying to find more New York parties because we have plenty of.
We've only been to Sanctum, which is I don't know. You've probably heard of them.
I've heard of them, and I've heard a couple things, but not terribly much. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. I have one last question. Since we got the signal that we're
and then we can finish up with a few.
Okay. So my question is, what are the requests you get on your OnlyFans?
Oh yeah.
Because like I know women.
We didn't
get,
dive
like,
into that much.
I feel like I've heard the spit in a cup or something, or like watch while I drink milk and whatever.
I don't get anything that fun.
Okay.
Watch you drink milk sounds easy money.
Wait, so what are your requests?
Yeah, what do you get?
I mean, I think the most out there one I got was a guy paid me a couple $100 to blow up and pop balloons in my underwear and then jerk off and come on one of the balloons. Which, like, during lockdown, I was living with two women much younger than me who lived upstairs, but we could hear everything, and they were in grad school, and I had to say, hey, is there like a time range where like it can be loud? And they said this window. I was like, cool, because like I gotta pop some balloons, and like I'm sorry.
I love that.
But yeah, just usually it's
Did
something.
you have to send him the balloons?
No, I probably would charge extra for that.
Yeah, definitely charge extra for that.
Yeah. So no, like usually it's stuff like men are terrible people. I just want, if you're watching this or hearing this, like you're cheap and you're lame, and because the women do not haggle me like this.
Yeah.
Right. So they'll be like, well, I just want to get like a 30-second video. Can I give you like $20? I'm like, no. Because it's not worth me like wasting a load over $20. No, thank you. If your video order is too short, I have a $50 cum shot surcharge. Because I'm like I need to be making hundreds.
Yeah.
Or like I got to charge you an extra $50 just to like waste this. Taking my dick out, they got to make it worth the while. They say, how much money does it, how much money will it take you to like get out of bed in the morning? I'm like, how much money is it going to be for me to like dump a load on the floor. Like that's
Yeah.
I got a number. So usually it's just like stroking. Sometimes they want to see my butt. On occasion they'll ask for something, but it's usually pretty standard. I don't get a lot of weird requests. Like sometimes I got my big spender. Like she's this woman in Ohio. She just wants me to say like my nickname for her a lot to the camera. I think the women want something like that feels connected. So I'll just say hey sweetie. Or like, oh my God, sweetie, that feels so good. Or like, I don't know. I just like speak at her a bit.
I like that.
One woman asked me to tell her like a sex story. I play pretty normal, so I don't get the crazy shit that some of my friends get. But if you want to pay me for some stupid, wild porn thing, like I'll do it at onlyfans.com/callmebilly. Like I'll.
Hey, shamelessly plug yourself.
Okay, so we'll do a quick round of this, and then we'll be good.
Also, shout out to Amorous.
Chat
Yeah.
I love this game.
Amorous.
Love you, Elizabeth.
Okay, what's the craziest place you want to have sex that you haven't already had sex at?
I'm just gonna adjust it to create. Well, subway sex is still very much on. Oh, and I got close. I was on an empty car with someone at like 3:30 in the morning. I was like, oh, I wish we were like fluid bonded because then we could just like do a quick fuck right now because we had 2 stops where there was nobody on the train.
Yeah.
But sadly, it could not pull that off. It was like I just met her.
Okay.
But the craziest place I had sex, NYPD parking lot.
Okay.
That's
Like outdoors, not in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next to the cop car.
Like in the parking lot of this NYPD. Yeah, like in the back of the parking lot. I didn't know it was NYPD parking lot till we left and I looked up. I was like, oh, that's why there were. I was like, there's a few cop cars here, but they're all off. That's weird. And then I got out. I was like, that's why. Okay, we got away with something.
So there's not another crazy place in your list besides the subway?
When I walk around any city, I'm like a location scout for a movie. I'm always looking at that'd be a good place to fuck there. I guess I could eat somebody out here in public. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's always I always like that woman I actually just described from the subway thing. She says she got fingered in an alley that was gross. I was like, I actually know a good clean alley.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, I'd love you to show me that alley sometime. And you know what? I'm going to.
I like nature, outdoor places.
I love nature.
A good park bench really just hits different.
What is your alter ego's name?
That feels like a really personal question.
You don't have to answer.
I always said that if I had like a burner name, I think it would be Buddha Steakhouse.
Buddhist steak?
Buddha Steakhouse.
Buddha Steakhouse.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's
it made more sense to me 8 years ago when I thought about that.
I don't know what mine would be. I have to think about it. What's the first movie sex scene that turned you on?
Probably Titanic. I think that was just the first.
Really?
I just think that was the first titty I saw on screen.
Hey, those were
Kate
some
Winslet,
great
yeah.
titties.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right?
those were some great titties.
She's beautiful.
Okay, last but not least, what is your favorite sex advice?
I'll give it to the men because I think they need it more these days.
Absolutely.
You're trying to make her feel. The question isn't, did you come? The question is, does that feel good? Are you enjoying this? Okay, stop making come this goal that you get to feel good about. Make it just about like everyone feeling good. And hey, if she comes in the process, that's a great mistake to have happen. But like, just focus on fun, focus on feeling good, and stop getting goal oriented about it.
I like that.
I like that.
It's not an efficiency game; it's an experience.
Because there are like times in my cycle where like it's really hard for me to come.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want my
I enjoy it, but I can't.
Right.
Yeah, when my partners are so focused on it, I'm like, now this is just taking the fun out of it because we're just trying to get to this one destination that like I don't think we can get to.
Just so you can feel like I'm a man. I made you come.
Yeah. So exactly. Well, thank you for joining us today. I like I said, we've never really had the perspective of a single non-monogamous man on the podcast. So I really love to hear kind of what your experiences have been. But also,
It sounds like you've been open for a while, and I love that.
Yeah,
I wish I would have.
But open to a lot of things too. I wish men would open themselves up a little bit more. I think they all need to do that.
Like wear some glitter.
Yes,
I was
exactly.
actually just going to say that literally. Wear some glitter, put some nail polish on.
Yeah,
Make it
chicks dig it.
fun.
Anyways. So thank you for joining us. Do you want to plug yourself?
Yeah, let's all do our plugs just because I think we're mutually released.
We're co-releasing.
I should say, hey, thanks for coming on here too.
You're welcome.
So I'll say you can find my show, The Man Whore Podcast, wherever you're listening to Double Teamed. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all this stuff. But I would say if you're looking for a sense of community, I have a great sex positive Discord server. Oh. You don't even have to listen to my show. So if you want to connect with like-minded people, you can join us in the Champagne Room at at manwhorepod.com/discord.
Love that.
Love that. And then you can find us at Double Team Podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts and at doubleteampodcast.com.
For all relevant links.
Yeah, for all relevant links. We're mainly on TikTok.
At Double Team Podcast and Instagram at Cami and Niki with 1K.
Because Instagram sucks.
Do y'all have like a closing phrase thing that y'all do at the end?
I always do wear condoms.
And stay slutty.
Yes.
We got both of them in.
Yes, there you go. Okay, perfect. All right.